So let's just jump straight in. So Amanda, you're one of our transformational life coaches, and you've been building up your business over the last, say, year or two. And, you know, as most coaches, healers, therapists, when they first start, their number one thing is getting clients.
Yeah.
And because we're in a digital age, you know, it's so far removed to what we were brought up knowing how a business should run and how
Yeah.
to get clients. It's so different now. And, you know, a question that you've just asked is how to get coaching clients. So I would say let's just start from where you are rather than me go into the whole thing about how I did it or how you should do it. It doesn't work for everybody because you have to find your how you like to resonate with people is different to what I do. So what is your strategy now for getting clients?
Okay, so first of all, I'm an introvert, and secondly, I'm a projector with human design projector, and those things are really important in terms of my strategy with people, and how I need to protect my own energy, particularly. So I it's about nurture for me. It's about a relationship with people, and it's also about showing myself rather than telling people what I can do. And what I do, because I find it, I've got 20 years experience as an English teacher in the classroom. And even though I have an extensive vocabulary, or perhaps partly because I have an extensive vocabulary, I find it really hard to articulate my skill set. And it took me a long time to find my niche. It took me a long time because it was about transformation. And so kind of breaking down transformation in terms of who it is I'm serving and what it is that I'm helping and guiding them towards and within themselves, I found really difficult. So at the moment, I'm focusing on nurturing my audience and growing my audience. I'm focusing on giving free and valuable content so that I show what I'm about and who I am. And I want to show my integrity and show my power, but also and stand in my power. But also, I want to do that by also tuning into my intuition, which is a big part of my business and a big part of my business model, in terms of the strategies and the services that I offer.
Yeah, amazing. So you articulated yourself amazingly well there. And when you said, which obviously you know you can do in abundance, when you said, you know, you're an introvert and you're a projector,
Yeah.
is that something you want to bring out into your marketing strategies? As in, do you want to work with those type of people, or is that bit of the puzzle not part of how you will present yourself?
Well, that's a good question. It's something I just consider in terms of my strategy, what works for me. So if I and when I was starting out and when I was doing a lot of one-to-one work, I had to be very careful that I wasn't doing too much. So I might have a QHEH client in the morning and then do a coaching client in the afternoon. And for me, that was enough in terms of my energy, because I find it, I'm also an empath as well, so I have to be very careful at protecting my own energy when working with other people. So that's what I meant in terms of my strategy. I like to work in small groups. I've done some group coaching sessions, but have very small groups because that's what I work best with, and that's where I feel I come into my own, when I'm in a small group rather than a large group of people.
That's
But equally, I'm very happy to stand up in front of people and do a presentation. That doesn't faze me at all. I'm used to being on camera. I'm used to being, in the classroom with 30 teenagers in front of me, for goodness sake. So I'm very happy to talk about Shakespeare, and I'm very happy to deliver an energy healing session in a group. So maybe it is something, because I'm also not neurotypical. I've also have aphantasia, which means that I can't visualize. I don't have the capacity to create pictures in my head at all.
yeah.
So I can relate to people who don't see the world as other people see it, and can't use strategies that other people rely on. So, for example, visualization doesn't work for me because I don't have capacity to visualize.
Yeah.
So when I've done guided meditations in the past, I found I haven't been able to engage with them. I haven't resonated with them. In fact, they triggered me because I couldn't do what they were asking me to do. So all of those pieces are parts of who I am and what makes me me in terms of a coach. But perhaps there is scope for me to explore those more in terms of my marketing and my approach to what I do. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things that spring to my mind as you talk about that. It makes me feel like you're quite clear on how you need to manage your own energy and like you say, your business model. So it seems clear. So in a way, you're not somebody who would necessarily be pumping out content constantly on social media, constantly having to energetically show up.
Mhm.
So that's really good to know about yourself. Really good, and that solves a massive energetic drainage problem when trying to find clients. So there's two things. You know yourself, which is great. So now you really have to get clear on what you mean when you say get clients. Because if you can only manage 2 clients a day, you have to make sure, if that's all you're doing, that pays the bills.
Yes.
So that needs to equate to X amount of money, however you structure those one-to-one sessions, groups, maybe an online course for passive income. You have to figure out, okay, if I only want to serve 2 clients, you might not even want to do that every day. You need to then think about your extra passive income streams and how that looks. So your business model can be you in the middle, serving your clients. You've already said groups, so that's great.
Yeah.
One-to-one, maybe a passive income stream, and that there are multiple ways of making that happen. But what is it in your mind when you say get clients? Like, what is the problem? Is it that you're not making enough money to support yourself at the moment? Do you physically not have those 2 clients a day?
Yeah, I think it is that, and it's also putting myself in front of the right audience for sure, because I absolutely know I do a huge amount of mindset work, a huge amount of energetic work. I'm always I'm currently doing being coached myself, business and mindset stuff as well. So I'm very aware that what I do is transformative. I absolutely know that, and I stand in that, and I'm aware of that. But the difficulty comes with, I'm sure so many people can relate to this, when the physical reality that you are experiencing in this 3D dimension isn't reflecting what you know to be true. So when the clients aren't there, when you know that your content is on point and you know that you're standing in your truth and you aren't being apologetic in who you are, but the clients aren't resonate, or the clients aren't there to resonate with it, you're not finding the clients. I know obviously I've got a huge amount of work to do myself as I continue to do, but that's the immediate problem. The immediate problem is that. But also, as you say about passive income, I am currently working on lots of little things. So I have a free ebook out, and I'm also doing some inner peace audits, which are low ticket offers. So I'm working on that, and then I'm also working on a membership as well. So I'm kind of working on those passive or less active, I suppose, income streams at the same time.
Okay, right. Just let me, so I don't lose this train of thought. Right. So you just said the clients aren't there, right? That's one thing. And something about it not landing. Is that right? So is this a messaging thing as
So
well?
I'm coming into my own in terms of my messaging now. I'm aligning with my niche and my message. My messaging is far better than it's ever been before. The problem is finding the people who that message resonates with, and finding so my current audience and a lot of the people who align with the work that I do currently find themselves in situations where they don't have very much of a disposable income.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that my membership is going to be looking at.
Okay, so right. So okay. So I'm just going to constantly ask questions because what I want to do is get it clear in my mind so then I can lead you on to the next thing. So you said that you the target audience that you've got don't have a huge disposable income.
Yes.
How do you know that to be true?
How do I know that to be true? Because of the way that they speak, because of the way that obviously in coaching, we all know that money is a big objection. We know that that's one of the biggest ones that we have, money and time. And that has been true for my audience in lots of ways. When I've launched or promoted coaching, most of the feedback that I have had in terms of the reason why people haven't taken it up has been cost related. When I have done lower cost group sessions and special offers, people have taken that up and they have worked with me, and that has gone really well. So knowing my audience as I do, having done the nurturing that I've done and the work that I've done and the polling that I've done with them, and I've asked them questions, the biggest struggle that they currently have is financial.
Okay, that can be there's quite a lot wrapped up in that, and what you'll find what will happen to you is you will become stuck. You'll become stuck in that thought that my clients can only afford X, Y, Z. So you need to completely break that habit and know it not to be not true right now.
Okay.
Might be true for you in the moment because you haven't really figured out what your value is yet, and you're not portraying that properly to your client audience to make the value of that transformation priceless in a way. And we're not talking that you're going to charge them thousands and thousands of pounds here. But is it true to say that normally if you want something and you see the value in something, you'll normally go out your way to make it happen? Have you had situations in your life where you've gone, logically, I can't really afford this, but I know I really want it?
Of course, but I do think that there is another piece of that. And I do think that if you've got that piece, then you will find the way. And if you don't have that piece, or you're not able to think in that way or to approach things in that way, then that will be the end of the road for you. And you'll say, no, I can't afford it. And you'll move on and find something else.
Yes, exactly. Or you'll move on and find something else. I mean, okay, it's like there's two ways to look at this. You can continue to serve that level of people, but how much of your time are you giving to that sector when really you could be going out and getting more high value clients that don't bat an eyelid at paying for the transformation because you've sold it to them in a way that it's just a no-brainer for them. So why are you focusing on this market when it's time equals money for you, when that is really what you're trying to solve for yourself?
That's a very good question. I don't know. I think I guess I have a heart for these people. I mean, my membership specifically is going to focus on working with people who have had experience of coercively controlling relationships, for example, and they are likely to be in financial difficulty or a tricky spot financially as a result of that. So specifically with my membership, that's my target audience. So maybe that has kind of become maybe I just need to diversify and have perhaps a different audience for my different offers that I do. Yeah. I think also I relate to the people who are experiencing financial problems and have mindset issues around finances, because that's my experience.
This is the nail on the head, right? This is the nail on the head. This is the problem that you have, is that you're stuck in there with them.
Okay.
You are in there with your client on that level. How are you going to get out of that mindset shift to elevate yourself up and realize that actually I'm seeing this as a problem because I've faced it, or I'm facing it? Until you've worked through that and then somehow made the shifts that you need to make. I know it's so cliche to say make the shifts, but it is true. It's always the way that you view a problem is the problem.
Okay. So I do business and personal mentoring, coaching at the moment, and a lot of that is wealth activation and money mindset and success mindset. So I am working through my own money stories, limitations, perceptions, call it what you want, energetically, and whatever else the other term would be. So it is an ongoing process for me. I guess my question back would be, how do I step out of it now whilst I'm continuing to break through myself personally?
Yes. Okay. This is a personal issue that you have
Okay.
around the money, right?
Okay.
Okay. Once you break out of that, then everything else is just pretty much strategy based.
Right. Okay.
You have to realize, and you have to really think about perceptions. It is only a problem because of the way you perceive it. You perceive that problem you have around money very uniquely to you based on your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't necessarily mean for 1 second it's a truth, it's a universal truth. It's not. Mm-hmm. It's just a belief based on your experiences. And yeah, we'll look at people and go, oh yeah, see, I have this group of people who can only afford this, therefore it is true what I believe. Of course it's true, because you have to make it true. You have to go and surround yourself with these truths.
Yes.
It is true that certain times in our life we fall on hardship and we can only afford certain things. Mm-hmm. But it's also true that in that same situation, if we really desired something, we would make shit happen.
Right.
It will get the money for it. Have you ever had that experience in your life?
Yes, of course. Of course I have.
Yeah. So both are true.
Right.
Right. So where you want to focus is going to be more true to you, because that's all you're choosing to focus on. If you chose to focus on, you make shit happen when you really want something. If you only chose to focus on that truth that you also hold, then things would shift.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way that you communicated with people would also shift them as well.
Okay.
So however you are getting this group of people, there'll be people in there that want to do more, that want to take the extra step, but your mindset belief might keep them trapped.
Right. Okay.
At that level. So if you start to like really think about the times in life and other people, oh my God, it's so like money is such a weird thing. There are like disgusting billionaires out there that pay ridiculous amount of money for stupid shit. Because money to them means nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not money that's the problem.
Yeah, I understand that.
Everywhere. It's everywhere. It's printed. You know what I mean? It's money is everywhere, right? But if you get stuck on well, this is true for me, then you're missing opportunities.
Okay.
Okay. So think about the times in your life where you have really desired something. Even when you first took the life coaching course with me, these other courses that you've done, you probably could have convinced yourself you didn't really have the money. But for some reason, you found it and you've spent it. And do that, we make sure we make the most out of it.
Yeah.
So think about the change of perception. Think about where your energy is going. And as soon as those other thoughts creep back in, or know that is true as well.
Okay.
But it's also, there are so many different truths. It's where you focus your energy. You will feed it. It will become bigger, and it will soon become a bigger belief that outbusts the old limiting belief. Think about the people that you've got already. And just I don't know, sometimes honesty is the best thing in these situations, or not, who knows. There are two ways I'm thinking. You could, I mean, have you got a group of people that you're working with at the moment, or have worked with, like more
Yeah.
a ticket offer?
Yeah.
You can go back at any time and say to them, look, I've got this other offer, does this other thing, and this is the transformation it will lead you towards. It's on an offer because we've worked before, blah, 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 blah. How would you like to take me up on it? I'm only keeping it for a few people. You were one on my list, whatever, and see if that works.
Right.
You could, I don't know what your programs are, but you could be like, flipping out, had a money mindset breakthrough. I've been thinking about this all along. Who wants to join me for a 6-week program where we elevate our money mindset? Whatever it is that you are selling to your clients, if it's about coercive control, think about the transformation that you can offer, and just, you've got to give it a go. Basically, you've got to give it a go. Otherwise, how else are you gonna break out of that?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because my signature one-to-one coaching program is called Breaking Out of the Box.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, isn't it?
Yeah. So and when you say about breaking out of the box, what transformation do they have? Like what can they do after the transformation that they can't do now, or they're not doing now?
So it's about the limitations which have been put upon them and which they have accepted themselves, about themselves, which stop them from living the life that they want to live, whatever that looks like. So whether or not that's a perception in terms of their I don't know, physical ability even in something. I mean, I'm myself facing a big birthday this year, and I've decided that this year is my year to say yes. So this is the year that I go on a roller coaster with my boys, because I'm terrified of roller coasters and I really don't want to. And this is the year that I go, bollocks, I'm doing it. I'm going on it. Oh, sorry, excuse my language. I'm doing it. I'm going on it. I'm facing that, and I'm doing it with my lads, and hopefully I'll survive, and then I can tell the tale.
Oh my God, you are brave, but yeah.
I haven't done it yet.
That's like giving yourself permission to live freely and fearlessly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in an ideal world, right, if you were to go and take action on this today, because what you've just said you want to offer someone there, you've just had an insight into your own mind, which is the breakthrough, the transformation that you are then going to deliver to other people. So your first thing I always say is talk from your own experience. Just talk, and that's where the vulnerability and the honesty comes in. You talk through your own experience. Some of the language that we can fall in a trap or a cycle of trying to get right, it's fucking bullshit, really, because all that person wants to know is, have you been in my shoes? Can I trust you? And I can only really trust you if I know you've walked in my shoes. That's all your people want to hear. And if you get like vulnerable and just say, oh my God, I had a chat with my ex mentor, coach, or whatever, Anne-Marie, or whatever, or you say whatever comes out your mouth, and just be like, I had this moment, and I've realized blah 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 blah, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this, and this, and I'm looking for X amount of women to join me, and just take it from there and just see what happens. But you were to do something with that, what would be the fee that you would be wanting to charge going forward?
For a program, or for
that's what you thought you would run next.
The number that's just come in is 299.
Yeah, hell yeah. So what is that, like a 6-week program, a 4-week?
No idea. So I think what's just come up, actually, talking to you about this, is that with my my history as a teacher, everything had to be planned. Everything had to be lesson plans for me were, I was the one that had my planner filled in for next week before this week started. I was the one who was, and yes, I was an excellent teacher. I was relying on my presence as much as my knowledge in the classroom, but I absolutely knew where I was going and what I was doing. And I think that sometimes I can fall into that kind
Yeah.
of mindset again
Yeah.
and feel like I have to have everything just so. So the idea of going on camera and doing a live or doing a post about, and not really having exact clarity over every single detail of what I'm doing. Now, having had this conversation, there's an excitement there because it brings up possibility. Whereas before, it brings up anxiety. Because I'm like, well, what happens if they ask me a question that I don't know the answer to? What happens if they ask me what I'm going to do? And I say, I don't know, I've got a clue, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
All of that comes up.
That's a really, really good point, because people will actually just jump on the coattail of your excitement.
Yes.
Not really listening to your words. They're looking at your rapport, your energy, your excitement, and your enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And also, perfectionism is a complete turn off.
Yes.
I would not want to coach who was a perfectionist, because I had a mother who was a perfectionist, and it would just trigger the shit out of me.
Right.
So think about that. You may think that you need to be this perfectionist, and don't get me wrong, I know where you're coming from. I would have been the same as well in the start, but they are not looking. You're not their teacher.
No, I know that.
Yeah, so they're looking for, can I really connect with this woman?
Yeah.
Is she friendly? Is she excited? Do I believe in what she's saying? That comes across in the tone of your voice. Talking about your own transformations and your own vulnerabilities as well. And I think, to be honest, 299, yeah, is an absolute steal. That is just too low. It's too low. But if you want to start there, start there. But how many people do you want at that price?
If I was doing it as a group thing, I would want no more than 6.
Yeah, okay, so that's like £1,200. Yeah. So then you've got to think about, so that's £1,800.
Yeah.
So then you've got to think about how long are you going to run that over? Because that's probably a lot of money if it's going to be a 6-week program.
Yeah, I was going to say probably 4.
Yeah. Okay. This has to be on a beta test.
Yes.
This has to be on a beta test. This is just you trying it out, and you're doing it in exchange for a video to video it, and to get some feedback, written and also video testimonial feedback as well. And you give people, so this 299 has to be like 50 or 70%. That has to be the reduced price. So the full price is either 50 or 70% higher than that. And you give your people like 72 hours to get it on a special offer price at that reduced rate. After that, it goes up to the full price. So you set a date. So you get the date in your head, where we're on 10th of July now. So you kind of have to act fast. I don't know if you want them to do pre-work or whatever, but if you're going to set up a group, all of that, you've got to think about that. Target it to your audience that you've got already, because they're the people that you want to give the special offer invitation to first.
Okay.
Loyalty thing. And then you can open it up to, I don't know if you've got an email list, and open it up to social media, open it up when you go networking. But this wants to be the thing that you just talk about constantly. And it's not constantly selling to people. It's just talking about, well, I was in this situation once, and this is the method I'm going to use, type of thing. Go on and talk about the pains of being an English teacher, the joys of being an English teacher, what being a teacher's taught me about coaching and coaching clients. Talk about you being an introvert and what that does. Talk about being neurodivergent. Talk about being a projector. So it's not all salesy, join my program, but what people are getting to know you.
Yeah.
And then always at the end, you can put a link. So think about where you're going to send people. Is it that you just want people to jump on a call with you? And maybe you don't have anything that you can, a page that you want to set up or a free download that you want to give them.
I can do that. I've got an ebook actually, which I've just launched, which is free.
I mean, that's fine, but really for this, yeah, that's a great way to build your list. But if you think, right, no, an ebook, yeah, someone's going to download it. Do you want them to have to read it before they get on a call with you? Really, you want to get them on call.
Okay.
So you can be like, jump on a call with me. And you could take them through something that's related to, let's figure out if you're a good fit for this program. And you can take them through, like, I don't know, 7 questions or one of the tools that you've got, maybe from the Transformation and Life Coaching course. I can't remember if you got the Soul Satisfaction Scale or the Wheel of What, anything like that. Just
I could do something like that. I could adapt it quite easily. Yeah.
Yeah, that relates to the course that you want to deliver. And just get people on calls that way and just say, look, spots are limited. It is on a beta test. I'm taking X amount of people through. And it's in exchange for feedback, how we can make the next one better, video testimonials, or each session will be recorded, or maybe not, maybe whatever feels right to you. But would you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, that's really exciting. I particularly like the fact that I feel I'm listening to my body as we're talking, and I'm fired up about it. It excites me. I'm not thinking, oh, I can't do that. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm thinking, yeah, of course I can do that. Well, I haven't done that before. What's wrong with me? Oh my goodness. So it's like it's sparked something in me. And rather than what I was looking for, which I didn't realize, was a link between my low ticket offer and my high ticket offer, and like a bridge. So it's almost like if I put myself out there and do this, and people work with me and they resonate with me, they're going to want to do something else with me. They're going to want to stay on the train. They're going to want to do the next thing.
The clients that you have now can be your clients for pretty much life in a way. All right, not that, but you know what I mean? Like, all my students are really caring students. Yes. You've been on many things with me before. Yeah. So I have like a 70% recurring with clients. So you give value. I've seen you in action. You are amazing. People loved you on our coaching week. They really absolutely loved what you do. They love your energy. They love how you deliver it. They love your intuition. So you have it. You have the skills. Yeah. Making that into paying clients, I know, is tricky, but we've just discovered it's only tricky because that you're focused on the thing, when actually the solution's here, and you've experienced that in your own life many times. Absolutely. So make that your truth now, because that is true for everyone.
Okay.
That is so true for everybody. Like, if you really want something, you make shit happen and get it. But you have to really desire it.
Yeah.
Value. So that needs to be big in what you are showcasing, and building that desire and building that value. Why would someone want this? What difference is this going to make in someone's life? What do they need to hear that I can help them break through? And it can be so specific. You wouldn't actually say this, but it could be as near specific as, by the end of this 6 weeks, you are going to have a soulmate. You know what I mean? You wouldn't say that because, it's that's not just in one person's hands.
Yes.
you will craft that into, say, you will know what your ideal soulmate looks like, their
Right.
qualities, their attributes, and you will be fully ready to receive.
Right.
So you've got to really get specific and not leave it vague.
Okay. Okay.
Because they know exactly what they want.
Okay. Yeah, that's really helpful. My own story is one of just huge transformation. And I think that because it's so incredible and there are so many aspects to it, it can be quite hard to speak specifically sometimes, because when you forget where you've been when you are where you are, don't you?
100%.
You look back and in fact, I look back and it feels like it's someone else's life. When Facebook comes back and tells me with time hops or whatever they're called, that, 12 years ago, I was in and out of A&E regularly, through gynae emergency regularly, and desperate for an operation so that I could just get out of bed, and so that I could just live my life because I was in so much chronic pain. I look back and I think, what? Who is that? And that was my life. And I just feel so disconnected from it in the correct sense of the word, because that's so far removed from my experience now that it's very easy to kind of just I suppose not quite hide behind transformation as a term, but just use that as a coverall,
Yeah.
and be specific about it.
No, and like I've struggled with this as well. And it's through most people like yourself and my, clients. I hear their stories and how they found me and why they took the course. That helps me get super clear on my client avatar.
Right.
Women all got to a breaking point, either health-wise, mental, emotional, had really kind of like the breaking point, and
Yeah.
then they made a decision they wanted more for their lives, and it's all that freedom, flexibility, blah 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 blah, and just to feel fulfilled. So they crafted my client avatar. I was like, oh my God, there's a pattern, there's a theme that every woman here is saying the same thing about why they took the course.
Right.
Think about your clients, and if you're not asking them, if you haven't thought about asking those types of questions in the beginning, ask them again. Why did you choose me? What were you looking for? You can use the questions that I've sent you. What was your life like before you worked with me? What was
Yeah.
it after? Why? What was it I said, or what did you read that resonated with you and you decided to work with me? So really just ask those questions to find out who is resonating with you. Because if you remember what it was like for you lying in bed, and if you'd have heard an advert or a coach saying, I can help you get out of bed and be pain free, you would have jumped up and gone for that coach over somebody who says, I'm going to help you live a better life.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's the problem that they are specific about their own problems. So try and get clear on that.
I have also I've just started doing some work as an English tutor as well. So I'm empowering students through English tuition, and I've got some really lovely feedback from the parents. I sent them a Google form after. At the end of their child's working with me, about exactly that, about why they chose me to work with their child, what they're looking for, and what changes they've seen in their child since they started.
Oh,
And I wanted to capture the holistics of the transformation in their child, rather than it just be about the results. So results aren't published until August, but I've got this feedback from parents about the changes and the transformation they've seen in their child since doing their English tuition with me, as an undercover empowerment coach, doing my energetics as well. And that's been really, really helpful because it showed me why they chose me.
yeah.
And yes, the presenting problem was that they wanted their child to succeed in school in their academic subjects, but they were looking for someone that their child resonated with.
Yeah.
And they weren't necessarily finding that person.
Love
And
that. That's so
I've
good.
worked with a couple of students who have autism, and one lady, when I went to see her one day, and I said, "Look, I'm going to come early because I'd like to have a chat with you," and sat down in her front room, and she said, "Are you leaving?" And I said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Everyone leaves. Everyone's given up on him. Everyone that's ever worked with him has given up on him, from his babysitters to his everyone that's ever interacted with him." I said, "Absolutely not. No, I am not giving up on him. I'm here to tell you that I'm really impressed with how well he's doing and how well he is interacting with me and communicating with me, and I'm really enjoying working with him."
Gosh, goosebumps, tears in my eyes. Gosh, that is absolutely gold. That.
Yeah.
So good. Well done to you for that. Is so empowering. I mean, that in itself is such a niche.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
can see so many like opportunities and avenues for you to develop that and have that as a passive income as well.
Okay.
To create a course, because you can create a course for the parents.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't thought of that. I thought about working with parents, but I hadn't thought about creating a course. A course would be a really good idea.
Work with parents in a group.
Yeah.
Manage that, but you could work with parents in a group. You could to take them through workshops, give them just even networking support. You could set up a little network as well. So charge a membership fee for that. You could even do like little networking niche for the mums and the children as well, which is becoming really popular, like networking events. So the mums and the children, when the dads, they can all meet up, but you charge a monthly membership for that. You can do the online courses.
Yeah.
So it's just a passive income. You're not really having to show up once you've done
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There are so many things, but if you're getting your reviews, like glowing reviews in this, you need to showcase them, even though it's a different. You're still bringing in your coaching skills, which obviously you bring into every client that you interact with.
Yes.
So ask permission, obviously, just say, can I use this?
Yeah, I did that as part of the asking for the review in the first place. So I asked if I could use it straight away, so I can use any of it.
Yes, and if you need help with your social media, then try and find someone who can just help you get started and build up testimonials. LinkedIn, really good. Instagram, Facebook. It's really easy to schedule. You just take a couple of hours, schedule it, and you don't worry about it for the rest of the month. And just with you being, your kind of energy levels, I'm the same. Like I can't commit to showing up this day, that day for social media because I just don't feel like it.
Right.
So I can't commit like you. But what you could do is when you did feel in the mood, you could just hammer out a load of content videos on different subjects and then just schedule them for the month.
That's good.
You don't have to think about it then.
That's a good idea.
I think what we'll do is we'll have a quick break because I just want you to just be with your own thoughts for a couple of minutes. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to end this, but jump back on the same link in a bit. Okay. Send you.
Okay.
All right.
How long do you want?
Just give yourself a couple. Just message me when you're ready.
Okay.
Just want you to make use of what you've just. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See you in a sec.
Thank you.
Bye.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.